Against a Wolfpack outfit who know 2 points here would put them in a glorious position to go on and secure back-to-back promotions. So it's the Wolfpack who get this historic fixture underway. Hull Kingston Rovers, the first Super League visitors. And Mulhern takes the first tackle, comes in from Ashton Sims.
Well, what they've definitely got, this Toronto side, is they've got some household names and they're used to winning over the last 2 years. Since they've been formed, they've swept everybody aside and they're saying that we want to crack at Super League, we want to be in there mixing it with the big guns. And you know what, Hull KR have got it all on against the side that'll be cheered on by the home fans. There'll be a big crowd that's turned out here tonight.
Featherstone, the only club to lower the colours of the Wolfpack on Canadian soil. Good run from Tommy Lee though for Hull Kingston Rovers. No Sean Lunt for Tim Sheens' men tonight.
Well, an injury already to Darcy Lussick, number 32. One of the big, powerful forwards that the Toronto Wolfpack have to start this game. Inside the first minute, though, we get a stop in play. They run over the top of Blake Wallace. They've almost run through Darcy Lussick. I don't know whether his teammate here, some sort of injury as he is involved in this tackle.
Tackle 5 yards, very well, Tommy.
His brother Joey, already a winner, Salford today.
Wait.
And they, of course, beat Hull Kingston Rovers last weekend, Joey's Salford Red Devils. As the kick goes high, first test coming up then at the back for Gareth O'Brien. Deals with it well, but the Hull Kingston Rovers defenders in quickly.
Well, solid at the back, isn't he, Gareth O'Brien? And any team that's coached by Paul Rowley, you know that they do like to throw the ball around, whether they're trapped close to their own try line or whether they're up the other end of the field. But Bob Bezic, they've got a clever nine. They've got some big forwards up front in the likes of Lussick and Ashton Sims. And that man who's taking the ball out, Jake Emmett, playing it loose forward, but more like a prop forward. Good charge from Sims.
Grand finalist back in 2010, Jake Emmett with St Helens, as Darcy Lussick takes the Wolfpack over the halfway line. Ball's come free, and that has been reefed out, says the official James Child, and so it'd be a penalty to Toronto.
We'll try and control the go forward from Toronto. He's a classy forward, Lussick. Very direct, picks out a defender. The ball stripped from Hull KR.
And the Wolfpack will start this just 30 metres away from that Hull Kingston Rovers line. First tackle comes in from Nick Scruton. Bezic waits, one-handed pick-up. Lussick with the first carry. This is a good, strong run from Corey Patterson on the back of that. Volume levels lift around the Lamport Stadium. Great opportunity. That was Wallace. Tickle with an important tackle. Bezic again to the right-hand side for Sims. Oh, and he's put the ball down. I think it's Chase Stanley who's knocked that ball on.
Oh, they had some space, didn't they, out wide? Chase Stanley, if he takes that ball, then surely that could have been a certain try. They know it.
But they've been good at creating the overlap. Gareth O'Brien is, in my opinion, a Super League style fullback and a Super League quality one. You see him very often here trying to be involved as he takes the pass. The ball goes in front of O'Brien. Everyone's expecting it to him. Stanley wasn't expecting it, and although they had the overlap, first chance really in that corner's gone. Lussick receiving treatment again from the physiotherapist.
Chase Stanley, 110 appearances in the NRL over a decade with St George Illawarra, Melbourne and Canterbury. Very experienced New Zealand international, 29 years old. Just couldn't take that ball in though, and so Hull Kingston Rovers asked to carry the ball away from the danger area as far as Tim Sheens' men are concerned. Tommy Lee waits. Not the best pass. Junior Vaiva with all sorts of pressure on him there, and they come up with the knock-on immediately, and Toronto Wolfpack with a great response to their own mistake.
Well, I've liked watching Hull KR this season. They don't win every game, but they will try things. They want to entertain, they'll take risks, throw passes. They've thrown one here. They'll do this very often inside their own 20-metre zone, but the pass isn't accurate enough, and then at that point then there's a knock-on. Toronto get excited here. There's a sustained period of pressure close to the opponent's try line, and they smell a chance for a first score.
Finished top of the Betfred Championship, Toronto, 8 points clear of second place London. Just lost 2 of their 23 games. As Wallace goes in first of all. gets his side to within 5 metres of that try line. Bezic is there.
Oh, he's knocked him over.
On Sims.
Was that Tommy Lee?
Clattering out to the line. Hennano gets the ball away. It's been put down a second time, this time by Josh McCrone.
Well, Tommy Lee comes up with a decent shot in front of the sticks, doesn't he? On Ashton Sims really stops the prop forward in his tracks. Again, looking to shift the ball, just quite not getting those passes correctly when they're looking to shift the ball long. Imagine as well that there's some nerves going through this Toronto side up against the Hull KR side that last week they were beaten by Salford. Thought they lacked some punch and they played very lateral, made too many errors early on, and if you looked at them as a whole, you think that they probably relied too much on the halfbacks to pull them out of trouble.
Bound to be a few nerves around, hosting Super League opposition for the first time. They've certainly had the best of the territory in this opening 5 or so minutes, as Mulhern has 3 around him. Lussick among them, Emmett as well. Bezic completes that trio. Back inside, and that's Scruton, wrestled to the ground by Emmett again. Tommy Lee to the left-hand side, short ball. Joe Greenwood now.
Penalty.
Interference comes from McCrone.
Josh McCrone all over James Greenwood. James Greenwood hits some really good lines. Plays out wide, looks to target the halfbacks, picks him straight out, gets over the top of Josh McCrone. He's caught the wrong side of the ruck and can't reposition himself.
Substitute against Salford last week, having missed the win at Hull. He had started the previous 8 before that, James Greenwood.
A team like Toronto have had it all their own way for a couple of years. How can they handle sustained pressure down near their own line? The speed of which Hull KR have used to playing the ball in Super League against the physical Toronto side.
Mulhern with that first carry, and Hull Kingston Rovers with the first opportunity to see what they can do in attack. That's Scruton again. Dixon among the tacklers for the Wolfpack. Maguire, the danger man. Looked up by Emmett. And it was Tommy Lee. And the kick is a good one, but Chase Stanley is there. And Stanley brings the ball back safely for the Wolfpack.
Well, perhaps a little surprise to some that they've kicked so early in the tackle count. But we've got to remember that this Toronto side, they kept their opponents scoreless for a full 80 minutes last week against Halifax. The defensive reputation growing after that sort of effort.
Mason Caton-Brown's first involvement, his debut in Toronto colours today. Man, ex-Wakefield man. It's a good run from Bezic, over halfway. Stanley, O'Brien under pressure. Gets a good kick away and just to mix it up, a collision in fact. And Quinlan gets up safely with the ball, that's the main thing. Craig Hall was the other man in that.
Well, great tackle by Craig Hall. Unfortunately, he was on his own man. Adam Quinlan, got to make sure you communicate at the back. When those towering bomb goes up in the air, you've got to make sure that you command it and you let your teammates know what's happening.
More evidence of nerves around. It's such a huge game, this one, as Ben Crooks takes this ball forward now for Hull Kingston Rovers.
They've got some speed out wide, haven't they, Hull KR, when you look at the likes of Ben Crooks, by Wardle and Hall.
And they're in that Toronto Wolfpack half of the field now, and Scruton down by McCrone and Ashton Sims. The kick. Testing O'Brien, but safely collected. Tompkins with the tackle.
Well, marching forward, making easy meters, then Hull KR.
Talking about making meters, Mason Caton-Brown's trying to do that. Probably the best meter runner that they had really was Matthew Russell, out injured now. Him and Liam Kay, both starting wingers from last week, injured here today. And wingers nowadays in Rugby League asked at the starter sets to get the team rolling forward. So Ross Thorne and Mason Caton-Brown given that task here today. And then hope that big Ashton Sims can follow on the back of it, but he's lost the ball. The referee says play on.
Still Toronto possession, and they've got the ball really well out to this near side, and there is the pace man, Mason Caton-Brown.
Good skill by Gary Wheeler then. Tried everything to create that space out wide for Caton-Brown.
It was a lightning shift, and now they go to the right-hand side now. Paul Rowley's men. Chase Stanley. Julian Vaiva with the tackle. O'Brien's pass. And Dixon. And Tommy Lee round the legs. Penalty coming up.
Problem with, I think it's Chris Atkin over on the left-hand side for Hull KR. Physio's onto him now. Was hurt in a previous collision. You know what, I don't know what's gone on with Tommy Lee and Ashton Sims, but those two are having a right ding-dong together. 2 shots Tommy Lee's looked to get in the face of Ashton Sims.
Opportunity to kick a goal and take the lead here. Not sure everyone's taking on some fluids.
Hot conditions. They're going to run the penalty, in fact, and Sims charges in again. Right under those Hull Kingston Rovers posts. Bezic with a short ball. Can they get over the line here? Emmett repelled. Good ball, and Stanley manages to get the ball further wide, and Rawsthorne is in for the first try. It's a Toronto try first up in Canada. The perfect start for the hosts. And Paul Rowley's men on 10 minutes go into a 4-0 lead in this vital game.
Well, they are a team that are used to scoring points. They've posted some big numbers this season, and they've got the confidence to come into these playoffs knowing that they can trouble most sides. But have a little look at the pass. The first one from Bezic, straight away to McCrone, and then that one from Stanley goes to Rawsthorne, and it's a clear run to the line. All created 2 clinical plays here. McCrone, Bezic, and that pass there from Stanley. Good finish as well.
Sweet moment for Nick Rawsthorne, signed from Hull FC, of course, on the eve of the season, and now he strikes against their bitter rivals. First try in the qualifiers, as you see. 15 tries already this season.
Plenty of time. Yeah.
And a couple in the Easter win at Toulouse,
Can you make it?
and a couple in a 64-0 home defeat of Barrow as well.
Everything all right, man. Yeah, good. Loads of time, Jack. One voice.
Gareth O'Brien then from the sideline.
Come on.
An excellent kick, and 6-0 Toronto lead.
Well, it was third time looking for the first 4 points. They've clearly targeted passing the ball to their right wing. The 2 previous occasions there were mistakes made, but on this occasion they got it there quickly enough, and then it was a superb finish. He still had Chris Atkin to beat, kept his feet inside the field of play, and was very happy when he jumped up there. I think that's a massive boost. So much work gone into this Toronto venture for many people. They put their hearts and souls, massive passion behind, many people behind it, and they'll be pleased here now to take the lead against a Super League outfit.
Ashton Sims crashes forward again into collision with Scruton and Greenwood. Stanley. Toronto on the right-hand side again. Dixon. And Mulhern with the tackle alongside Scruton again. Bezic's pass. There's 3 in there for Hull Kingston Rovers this time. Joel Tompkins among them. Toronto moving to that Hull Kingston Rovers half of the field. McCrone with the kick. Turns Quinlan around. Immediately, Blake Wallace in his face to effect the tackle.
Quite content just to turn Hull KR around, kick it into the corner, and going short side here. It cuts down the options really for Craig Hall. Makes it easier for Toronto to defend this next play.
Well, they set themselves a goal of the number of times that they can force their opponents to start a set with inside their own 20, and they're doing that regularly here now. Containing their opponents. They'll be pleased with how that's gone after scoring points.
Certainly commanded the territory in this opening 13.5 minutes, but that's a good break from Quinlan and an important tackle from Jake Emmett there. play the ball. He's quick, and Maguire just drills the ball down field, and O'Brien in a good position to start the counter, and then a huge hit from Danny Tickle.
Wow, haven't we seen some shots in this game? Danny Tickle on Gareth O'Brien. When he's returning that ball, he's trying to spot somebody maybe he's a bit smaller than Danny Tickle. And he picked him straight out.
Cason Brown evades one, can't get through Scruton's tackle. Dixon over halfway. Bezic. This is Ashton Sims now. Cruises into the challenge there of Tickle again. And safety first. The ball drilled over to that far side.
Then coming into this game, obviously a lot of pressure would be on Danny Maguire. He's played in some big games, some of the biggest games in the likes of Super League, Grand Finals, Challenge Cup Finals for Leeds Rhinos. And you look at the opposites in Josh McCrone and Blake Wallace, but probably the man for me, who I think pulls the strings for this Toronto side, who the fans are certainly having a good time, is Bob Bezic. I think he's the best hooker outside of Super League. We've got some great hookers in Super League. We talked about Paul McShane and Darrell Clark last night, along with James Roby, but Bob Bezic is a player that really does cause oppositions a lot of problems.
So much experience with the likes of Wigan and Widnes, Halifax and Lee, of course. The Irish international Bob Bezic.
Penalty there, didn't it? Hull KR kept the ball in the scrum. Their opponents broke too quickly, and it's an easy way for the Rovers to get out to their own half of the field. I want to say one thing about the Toronto side last week. They didn't run at an even pace. Their first half performance was faster, harder. They looked fitter and stronger than their opponents. But in my opinion, they tired in that second period, and they were very desperate really for that final hooter to sound. They've started hard. They've gone early here in this match. But you just saw that size of that scrum here. Some elements of fatigue. 2 penalties conceded. Always a sign that maybe your side are struggling a little bit with that, and they've now been marched from one end of the field in retreat back to their own.
Poor penalty really from Ashton Sims to just step into the ruck then and just have his foot around where the man is about to play the ball.
Great chance then for Hull Kingston Rovers to get back into this game and trouble the scoreboard themselves in the shape of Mulhern, who takes that first carry. Scruton. Emerton Sims with the tackle. That was Tommy Lee. And then Greenwood. Chase Stanley for company alongside Dixon there. Atkin.
Oh, brilliant.
The short side, and Craig Hall just couldn't take that ball in. How he would have loved to have scored against his former club.
I've seen Junior Vaivai set up some sensational tries this year. He's got magical feet here. You see he just tries to step on the opposite side of his centre and bring in the winger. He does it, achieves it. The pass just behind Hall. He can't take it in.
League One Player of the Year for Toronto last year. The leading point scorer with 442 over 25 games, and in fact they're only ever present as well. Craig Hall.
And both coaches would have done the homework, and Vaivai would have been on Toronto's tip sheet on a fast pitch. 3G pitch, what they're playing on here. Got some speed, got some skill.
Emmett with that carry, one-handed pick-up from Bezic.
Good bung by Patterson there. They needed something, didn't they, to spark him up in this set.
Patterson appearing in his 4th straight qualifying series with a 3rd different club. Lee in 16 and 17 after Salford 3 years ago. Good ball, finds O'Brien. O'Brien finds Stanley, and Stanley has Rawsthorne as outside. Taking on Vaivai this time. Can he stay in the field of play?
Well, that's a good battle over there, isn't it? Between Chase Stanley and Vaivai. And every time the ball's shifted, they look like they've got some speed out wide, Toronto. Rawsthorne just couldn't keep in the field of play then. He was manhandled by the Hull KR defenders.
The game continues the way we've seen it for the first 18-19 minutes. He's going to get a few more runs, Nick Rawsthorne. They seem very obsessed, don't they, with passing the ball out to their right wing. They've obviously scored the first try going that way. Fascinating battle, as you say, on a faster running surface. It will suit the speedsters if they're given possession.
Played at a fast pace as well this game. See the players taking in the water. Want to make sure that they control the sets. 6 every time they have the ball. Make sure they discipline when they haven't got the ball.
"25 degrees forecast for Toronto." The crowd lift again as Hull Kingston Rovers make the error.
Well, they know with Hull KR making the error in their own half, it certainly does help this Toronto side. They've got the freedom to play. Paul Rowley and Simon Finnegan, the coaches over in Toronto, they just say, you go out there, you play what's in front of you. If you see something, you take it. If you make a mistake, you've got to make sure that your defence is ready. Because this Hull KR side, Tommy Lee, they've got enough players that will cause some problems themselves.
Good opportunity then for Toronto to extend this lead as we approach the second quarter of this match. Gary Wheeler spent the bulk of his career with St Helens. That's Patterson again, spinning into the waiting arms of Danny Maguire. Bezic. That's Wallace. Emmett. Lee comes up with the tackle. Ashton Sims. Bezic. Blake Wallace gets the ball at the line again. Gets the ball brilliantly away for O'Brien. It's an important tackle from Quinlan. Still got one to hold out though. Wallace again. Puts boot to ball, possibly looking for the post, but this is a great counter, and it's Quinlan who's in the clear. Adam Quinlan against Mason Caton-Brown. Caton-Brown is quick, he gets the ball brilliantly away though. And it's going to be a try for Junior Vaibai. Hull Kingston Rovers go the length of the field to open their account in Toronto. Toronto looked threatening at one end and then concede their first try at the other.
Well, I said earlier that Hull are an entertaining team, and this is a perfect example of that. Adam Quinlan has been impressive for the Rovers this year. He doesn't quite have enough pace to go the length of the field, but he has a presence of mind to throw a pass backwards to his teammate. 3 men there, Hull hovering around when that ball fell down from the sky, and it fell into the arms of Junior Vaibai. He was delighted. Look, Mason Caton-Brown's done his best. He's closed down the play, but he's forced to ground. Craig Hall celebrates. He knows, alongside Chris Atkin, that his side needed something there. It's been a hard opening 20 minutes, and now they should be level with a conversion, a mere formality.
Junior Vaibai, of course, a United States international. On the mark in Canada. Danny Tickle has the chance to improve that try from Junior Vaibai and level things in Toronto.
You think this would be an easy kick for Danny Tickle? He'll take his time.
Two more points from the boot of Danny Tickle, 6 points apiece.
I do like teams that can attack. And when you look at Hull KR and Adam Quinlan's effort, then they're not afraid to throw the ball around, but when he throws that ball over his shoulder, he knows, like Phil said, there's 3 players pushing up. They did ever so well there. 1 second they're focusing on what's going to happen from Toronto, defending their own try line. I mean, in a split second, they've got to make sure that they push up with Adam Quinlan. And it's a good team effort, that try.
O'Brien's restart. And 3 immediately in the tackle, led by Dixon there for Toronto Wolfpack. Brings down Mulhern. This is Scruton now. Faced by Emmett and Bezic. Tommy Lee. Dropped off by Maguire. Lussick in there. Tompkins holds on.
Tommy Lee in this set of 6, he's just trying to keep it nice and tight. Look, you can see them talking to the forwards, gives it Rob Mulhern here. They're not passing the ball around, they're keeping it nice and tight, not really moving away from where the ball's played.
Maguire goes to the air. Bounces awkwardly. Come up though for Toronto. There's an offside in there.
Well, James Child gives the penalty away for offside, just explaining to Danny Maguire what that penalty's for. And Gareth O'Brien not wasting any time now, kicks it out of the field of play. Gets an extra 25 metres, valuable metres as well.
Toronto Wolfpack then in a good part of the field and in possession again, looking to retake the advantage. That was Emmett who gets the ball away.
And this is Sidlow, isn't it? And the challenge for Emmett and Sidlow is to play at the pace that their opening props played for, 20 minutes or so.
Bezic's pass. Emmett now.
Number 8, Jack Buchanan, and number 15, Adam Sidlow.
That was Bezic again, manages to flick the ball away. McCrone. And now Buchanan. Bezic again. Again to the right-hand side, it's been picked off. And Craig Hall has space in front of him. Wallace will chase, but no one will catch Craig Hall. And this will be a very much appreciated try from Craig Hall against his former employers. Doesn't really celebrate, but he will have enjoyed that moment. Took the ball street clear, and Craig Hall puts Hull Kingston Rovers in the lead for the first time.
Well, the last 2 efforts from Hull Card just show what speed they've got out wide. Craig Hall, knowing that he's got the pace to get down the other end of the field. Adam Quinlan, when he managed to pick the ball up from a kick, he went the full length before giving it to Vai. And again, you take your chances, you maybe overplay, and you show your hand. You throw a ball like that, and you've got to make sure that you're switched on in case it doesn't come off. One of the quickest players on the pitch, Craig Hall, and Toronto know all about him, his strengths, his weaknesses, and that's one of his strengths. Well,
you wonder now, after 25 minutes of attacking Craig Hall's side of the field and not really having that much joy, they did score 1 try there, whether they will alternate really. I mean, he's clearly one of the best players at intercepting. He's a risk taker, he'll come in for those passes, but the vast majority of Toronto's attack has been passing the ball out to that right wing for the Toronto side, running around Craig Hall.
Do you think it's probably because of Chase Stanley, one of the biggest attacking threats that they may have out wide?
I'm not sure. I mean, we've not seen Joe Wardle make a tackle on the other side of the field for Hull KR. They've not tested him yet. This is a test now for Danny Tickle, an excellent goal kicker. Is he 35 years of age now? Amazing career that he's had. Consistent goal kicker since the days he started at Halifax.
Yeah, 35, Danny Tickle, and this attempt far harder than his first from right in front of the posts. Same result though. Hull Kingston Rovers go out to a 12-6 lead. Craig Hall with his 4th in 3 games since joining Rovers again from late. It's been sensational.
Well, he doesn't panic when he's outnumbered. He just puts himself in between the two attackers and hopes for the best. Jumps high. That's a nice piece of skill to catch the ball under pressure. Relaxed running action brings him closer to the goalpost. Helps that kick for his teammate Danny Tickle. And from 6-0 down, the 6-12 in very little time at all.
2 tries in 5 minutes, in fact, for Hull Kingston Rovers, and so some problems for the Wolfpack. 3 in the tackle though immediately. The appetite is there to defend, and Buchanan in there, Stidlow in there. Mulhern not happy.
Well, he's saying that they lost the ball, they were appealing, so the referee appears to have blown a penalty. Maybe said the ball's been stripped out at that point.
Full steal the verdict, like you say, Phil, yeah.
Rob Mulhern will be relieved though. He's never certain which way those decisions could go. He's going to have to hold on to it the next time he gets it. Stidlow in the face there, Greenwood. He always likes to offload if he can, but contains himself.
Was looking for a moment to promote the ball there as
Punch thrown, yeah, that's right. Punch thrown.
Yeah, no, I think it was a slap in the face from Buchanan, wasn't it?
Yeah, still, it's got to be penalised.
Yeah, well, he's been penalised now. James Child just trying to take the sting out of this game.
Sorry, Jack. Yeah. Well, I can't play after that situation.
Pulling both players in. Listen to the referee.
I
don't think we've seen the last of this battle, James Greenwood. Obviously they've said something, then the push in the face or on the neck, and then the reaction.
It could be 6-18 here, couldn't it? Penalty. Some fatigue setting in for the Toronto team in their defensive efforts. Vaivai runs at the line.
After a bright start for Toronto Wolfpack, they're in danger of conceding a 3rd try in quick succession here as Maguire brings the ball to the right-hand side.
Good ball and good speed as well. A lot of movement then from Hull KR when the ball was shifted.
Here he is, Joe Wardle. We've seen him, he's there. First big touch of the ball.
Important tackle.
Oh, he's lost it, knocked on. Terrible play of the ball. He's waited all that time for his big run.
Well, he is a big, powerful man, isn't he, Joe Wardle? And in his urgency to get up and play that ball quick, knowing that he had Toronto on the back foot, he makes the mistake, just fumbles the ball, and he can't play it cleanly.
On your line, Joe.
Toronto looking to make it 3rd time lucky against Super League opponents. They lost in the Cup away at Salford back in 2017 and at Warrington last year. Need to get something to get back into this game. Gary Wheeler, though, is shut down comfortably by Tompkins there. That was a big hit. And Mason Caton-Brown now moves in field into the tackle there of Tommy Lee.
Oh, the players in the red jerseys now are hunting, aren't they? Look at the line speed here. Good shot up top from Ben Kavanagh, just on the field now. They've got a big bench. Hull KR, Danny Tickle, Ben Kavanagh involved in that play.
Hull Kingston Rovers looking to make the most of momentum swinging in their favour as Buchanan takes it forward now for the Wolfpack. This one will be the last for Paul Rowley's side, though. Managed to get the kick away. Too strong.
Well, 7 tackles here now for Hull KR as they just get behind the play.
And what's interesting really is Hull KR then were moving as quickly as they were at the start of the match. Can the Toronto team move in attack and defence as fast as they were in the first 10 minutes as they're going to have to do in the last 10 minutes? They seem to have slowed down. They've not been used to playing at fast games for 80-minute periods in a lower league. This is their challenge now. Can they go with that intensity for the full duration of this first half?
Hull Kingston Rovers opened their qualifiers campaign with a 28-10 home loss last week, of course, against a Red Devils side they'd already beaten 52-22.
That's play on that.
Poor offload by Joel Tompkins, wasn't it?
Loose offload. Mason Caton-Brown, he's the first player to react. They get the penalty now. The fans go wild here, knowing that they need a try before half-time, really. Looking to go out the back. Then they hit the lead runner. Joel Tompkins then tries to offload the ball nobody with him as well. It was a blind offload, and Mason Caton-Brown gets that ball okay.
And a great chance now for Toronto to level things up. Half an hour gone. Decibel levels rise around the Lamport Stadium. Jake Emmett roared on. Bezic. Just a couple of metres away. Tackles in the bank for Toronto. Wallace. Short, straight ball. That's Patterson. Will eventually play it for Bezic. Some momentum lost there. Ball filtered out to Buchanan. It's via Sidlow. Last chance, Bezic. Right-hand side, short ball from McCrone. And it's somehow got back to O'Brien. He puts a kick in, spilled by Junior Vaivai.
Well, they get another set of 6 here now. They did ever so well, really. Hull KR was shooting off the line, knowing it was the last play, trying to close down what Toronto were trying to put on.
Yeah, the Wolfpack mixing it up, the power play on the last one. And then they kept the ball alive, the kick went through. Hull KR desperate now to survive another set. They almost need to form this scrum quicker, I think. I don't know why they're content to allow their opponents here now to take a breather and recover before they have to defend. Form your scrum and get going.
They need to make the most of this momentum. Toronto trailing on the scoreboard.
Hey, come on, it's not a timeout.
6 points the difference. Worked out to Wallace. Wallace puts a step on. Tompkins shuts that play down alongside Mulhern. That was important.
There's a problem here with him, Blake Wallace. Just about says the players start to get tired, maybe just before half-time. He uses that explosive step of his. He could cause some problems, but it looks like he's in some problems here himself. When he goes down, just seems to hit his head on the ground. That's the problem. Paul Rowley wouldn't want to be losing one of his star playmakers. Joel Tompkins was aware of the threat, aware of the danger, but you can see the contact with the floor as soon as he slammed to the ground. And that's got to hurt.
Can hit sensational form. Blake Wallace ended campaign last year with 10 tries in 7 games. Hat-tricks against Lee and Batley.
Well, is it head assessment he's probably going to need to leave the field for? They lost 2 backs last week to injury during the game. Might have lost one here temporarily. His head does ricochet, doesn't it, off the ground? So a reshuffle of the team, I think, again for the Toronto side.
Already without Ryan Briley here.
That's a heavy challenge, that, when he hits the ground, isn't it? With Andy Ackers on the bench, the ex-London hooker, he could come on. Maybe Bob Bezic could go into the halfbacks. Played there as a youngster.
To play the ball, isn't it? He's given a penalty.
Hearing that incident is on report. So maybe some more
dangerous
to come.
Tackle then. Penalty for the dangerous tackle.
Bezic gets the ball away. Back in field for Wheeler. What's the Wolfpack direction like in the absence of Blake Wallace? Bezic again. Now Buchanan. Buchanan just trying to use his strength. Just a couple of metres short. Great opportunity now for Toronto. Short ball for Dixon. Masoi with an important tackle. There's been some deception for Sidlow.
Well, they've held in all the defenders in the central position. Now they go wide.
Bezic gets it, gives it some air, and it's Rawsthorne who picks up on the bounce, can't get the acceleration necessary though. And knock on.
Well, the fans seem to rise every time that it's those close little plays around the play of the ball, the forwards crashing onto the ball. But realistically, they've got to open them plays up. You don't get many chances down there, Hull KR's line, and to just have like 3 drives and then you swing it wide for one play. You've got to ask more questions than that.
Hull Kingston Rovers looking to extend their current 3-match unbeaten away sequence. They beat neighbours Hull for the first time in 3 years, then won at Widnes and then drew at Castleford. In the ascendancy here. 7 to go to the break.
James Donaldson on the field here now. They like to speed it up just as their opponents are tiring. Bring him on with some speed down the centre. Followed up by Ben Crooks.
Really quick play of the ball there from Donaldson. The kick finds Hall. It's still the last, says the referee. And Junior Vaiva hacks on. It's picked up comfortably. And Buchanan launches the counter now for the Wolfpack.
Well, good work from Buchanan. He was sweeper at the back then. I don't think he was expecting to field a kick like that, then the prop forward.
Rawsthorne for Stanley. Over halfway.
He's quick, isn't he? Gets out of dummy half, makes some decent meters. Quick play the ball here as well for Bezic.
Donaldson and Massoy with the tackle then. Emmett will wait. Bezic will play. Wheeler. That's O'Brien. Good tackle from Maguire. Caton Brown. Wheeler hangs on. Kick though is straight into Hull Kingston Rovers' possession.
It wasn't the best kick from Gary Wheeler. He was trying to kick the ball off the field, then walk to the scrum, just waste the time.
Comfortable for Joe Wardle.
High tackle. The referee says he's blown his whistle. Sidlaw and Bezic high.
Relieving penalty really for Hull Kingston Rovers.
I think we have a massive 5 minutes coming up here. Really important. Both sets of teams, you can tell, they've worked very hard in the heat on a fast surface. But there's a critical 5-minute period here now, and whichever side loses the concentration could really regret it at half-time.
I think Hull KR, all they need to do here is just make sure that they keep it simple and really play out the sets. They're the team that's winning. They're the team that's in front on the scoreboard by 6 points. Puts more pressure on Toronto in the second half then.
Strong run from Donaldson. Tompkins. Now Massoy with some space. Gets the offload away as well. Really important tackle. Buchanan in there. Tommy Lee. Can sense something here, Hull Kingston Rovers, in the latter stage of this first half. Already up by 6 points. Massoy.
Good tackle. Whiting on the field, held a big fella.
Applauded by this Lamport crowd. He went for the 1-pointer there. And it's back to 1 as Wardle takes it forward again.
Chris Atkin going for the 1 point. Jack Buchanan charging that ball down.
And Buchanan with some good defence there as well. Here is Donaldson. Just 5 metres away now, Hull Kingston Rovers. Phil said it could be crucial if they go over here. It could be a massive moment in this game.
Good line by, but a good tackle as well from Stanley. Give the penalty away, they go for 2 points here. The speed of which they were playing the ball, and it was just too quick. The last couple of sets then, they've just been in scramble mode, Toronto. Hull KR playing the ball far too quick.
Looking to go 2 scores clear. Just 3 minutes before the interval.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. Hull KR, the sort of side here now, if they get the breath back from the kick-off, they'll look to attack again here. They'll get one more chance. They'll be fresh. They won't have to defend again here now. They can get themselves back set and look to strike. I know, Terry, you're saying you've got a conservative mind here, but I don't think that's the way that Hull KR think or play. They might be thinking points again here yet before we hear the hooter. And that's assuming that this kick's successful. And I'm glad I don't have to make it, because it's a bit harder than what we probably think.
Is this 2 more points then for Hull Kingston Rovers? Yes, 14 points to 6 now. Craig Hall, the kicker this time.
Well, things going through Toronto's mind now. What do they do? Just before half-time, do they kick short, gift that field position to Hull KR, or do they go long and get through to half-time, knowing that at this stage they're just 8 points behind? It's a real good line, that, from Vai. Chase Stanley all over him. Bit of a high shot as well. Contact with the head. A couple of things to pick from there for the referee, James Child.
It's a game they dare not lose, as we said at the start. Maybe that explains a conservative approach, as Hall takes that restart.
Took a bit of a shot then from Adam Sidlaw then. Craig Hawley fumbles the ball.
Here we go. Get the scrum formed here. They can stop the clock, and maybe they can get to half-time with something to celebrate. Craig Hall takes it to the tackle. I did think he was hit, doesn't it? There's a collision perhaps with the head at some point there by Adam Sidlaw. If in fact the left arm hits him in the jaw, there might be a delayed impact here, and at which point I understand why he does lose it as he gets up. He was certainly hit high from that left arm.
Pardon?
Direct contact to the head, Terry. You spotted it immediately.
Back to OKR, hold fire, loose forward.
The reaction from Sidlow,
Hands around, Adam, hit him.
indicative of the adrenaline running through these Wolfpack veins. They really want to get back into this before the break, and this is a great chance now. That was Ackers, now Buchanan.
Oh, most of the half it's gone to the right winger. Which way will it go now?
Buchanan will play it. And Wheeler. Ackers, can he get over? Andy Ackers.
Oh, he's having a good go, isn't he? 5 plays trying to stop him then.
Patterson. Waste of a play, really. Got more expansive this time, and Wheeler. Lateral run. Wheeler still going, straightens things up. That's going to be the turnover, though. Last chance gone for Toronto.
Well, he's caught in 2 minds then. He's running across, he's looking for a couple of plays to drop underneath him, a couple of plays to punch through some holes. Nobody's really doing that. Gets tackled on the last play. And the more this game goes on, the more that Toronto are behind on the scoreboard, the more they'll start to panic, I think. Not used to being in this position. Said majority of this year, they've had it all their own way.
Good offload, finds Hall. This is Tompkins now. Tommy Lee. This will be the last players. Maguire just launches the ball. O'Brien is there, he collects successfully. That is the last action of this first half. It's been a nip and tuck battle, everything we expected it would be in this high stakes encounter in Toronto. They took the lead, but 2 tries from Hull Kingston Rovers in 5 minutes from Vai and from Hall have put Tim Sheens' men in control at the break. At half-time, it's Toronto 6, Hull Kingston Rovers 14.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
At LV, our car insurance comes from the heart. That's why we've made our multi-car policy our cheapest way to get cover for your household when you switch to LV. So, just imagine if you insured 2, 3 or more cars with us, how much you could save. And to get an exclusive multi-car discount, go direct to lv.com.
Where do you want to go?
Airport, please.
Whenever I see you, I always think of...
Hotels.
That's it.
And whenever I hear this song, I think of summer.
Summer. I'd love to take my family on a beach holiday this year.
Oh, yeah? Where to?
Well, my wife's been dreaming about going to Thailand for years. Her mum, she wants to see the elephants. My family love animals. The kids love splashing around in the pool. So it needs to be a family-friendly hotel. See? Quite complicated.
Not at all. Let's see. Beach, pool, and family-friendly.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
That's awesome! So simple. Our ideal hotel.
Simply select what you're looking for, and Trivago will find the ideal hotel for you and your family. Hotel Trivago.
For their sake, let's pass on plastic. Sky Ocean Rescue.
Celebrate the career of an Academy Award-winning icon with our first ever Denzel Washington collection.
All in a day's work.
Available live and on demand.
Go, 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 go.
Come on and dance
now until the new season gets underway.
into a trance with me.
Go, 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 go.
And try roll.
Are you confident, Jeff?
Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Go, 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 go.
It's time to take your seat. It's the start of an unmissable season on Sky Sports. The players are out, and it's live.
Go, 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 go.
You've got to grind the team down.
It's round two of the qualifiers, and we are bringing you action from Lamport Stadium in Toronto. Half-time, it's 14-6 in favour of the visitors. Hull Kingston Rovers defeated in round one. They're up against the Toronto side, who were victorious in round one, but trailing here by 8 points at half-time. I'll tell you what, John, decent crowd in there, and the crowd had plenty to cheer about early with the Nick Rawsthorne try.
Yeah, they did. 11 minutes gone. Great work from McCrone and then from Chase Stanley. I think the standout player for Toronto in the first half. They were excited for this one. They were up for this one, but it didn't stop some lovely bits of skill as well. Didn't get overexcited. Great finish in the corner as well by Rawsthorne, 6-0.
Hull Kingston Rovers scored twice then against the run of play. Had to score from deep.
And that's the significant point about it. It's the Gensler run of play. The Wolfpack were enjoying plenty of position and possession. And Vaivai's try, he's down to a length of the field break from Adam Quinlan. You just see from the reverse angle, Mason Caton Brown does manage to get to Quinlan, but Quinlan has Vaivai in support, and that got Hull KR ticking on the scoreboard 6 apiece.
Well, they like that left to right shift, don't they? Gareth O'Brien then gets cut out, heading that way as well, throwing a pass that, well, if he had his chance again, he'd reel it back in.
Yeah, and if there's one man on the field that knows Gareth O'Brien and what he does, and has recent experience of it, it is Craig Hall. Obviously spent some time with the Wolfpack. He'll know this surface as well. I'm not so sure whether me or you would have been able to pick the right line to stick that ball down over, but Craig Hall is obviously, he's very confident. Don't come in on that, Brian.
12 points, he knows the place.
12 points to 6. Chase Stanley, again, in attack, we talked about the quick hands on that right edge. That one, well, that it may well have cost them 2 points from the ensuing penalty he gave away, but I think that's a try saver. That could well have been another 6 points to Hull KR. So yeah, I think on balance, Paul Rowley will be relatively pleased with that, and it's been a really interesting first 40.
Try saver, but arguably unnecessary to try and finish off.
I just got himself that entangled, and Junior Vaiva is such a big lad. I don't think there was much else he could do.
All right. Toronto Wolfpack very much in this game with just an 8-point deficit at half-time. That's on the scoreboard. Watching it, do you still see them with a chance of perhaps snatching something here?
Very much so. I think they've made a lot of dumb, in inverted commas, plays really inside the opponent's 10-15. They've a lot of turn back plays to fall, just tried to barge over. I think they've got the quality there to be more creative, and I don't think they're having those overcalls from the likes of O'Brien and Chase Stanley, who's been exceptional in the first 40.
What might be difficult for them is they spend a year doing these things and sometimes making mistakes that don't get punished, running plays perhaps not as well as they could run them, and they score with them. They're going up against Super League opposition now, which won't be the case when you play against teams from the top level.
No, and you say that with all due respect to League One and the bottom end of the Championship, but this is a different kettle of fish now. Defences are much more well organised at this level. Quinlan's an experienced fullback. He will have those first two important defenders either side of the ruck sorted. So, as you said, what you may have been able to crash over and go unpunished before, they're not able to do that now. But I think that said, there is enough in this Toronto Wolfpack side to cause Hull KR more problems in the second half. And for me, it's a toss of a coin who comes away with the points here.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I think okay, there'll be a fatigue element there because of the travel. I think they're almost pioneers, aren't they, at this level? And there's going to be a test case, really, see how everybody else copes with the logistics and everything else. I think the Toronto Wolfpack have got this the potential to win this one.
All right, only 8 points behind. There was another qualifiers game. There is another qualifiers game taking place. It's in France. Toulouse in action against Halifax. Half-time, 16-0 lead for Toulouse. Paul Marcon and Chris Centroni got 2 tries. That has been extended now to a 22-0 lead for Sylvain Houlet's men. Okay, time now for a short break. We'll be back with the second 40 minutes from Lamport Stadium in Toronto. The Wolfpack are trailing at half-time. Just 8 points in it, though, round 2 of the qualifiers. A game Hull Kingston Rovers daren't lose. Ben and the boys standing by. Short break coming up next.
Don't miss our best offer for superfast broadband at just £25 a month for 18 months, including line rental. And there's no activation fee for existing Sky TV customers. Plus, it's super fast, super reliable, and will never slow you down. So get superfast broadband for just £25 a month with no activation fee, exclusively for existing Sky TV customers. Search Sky Broadband. Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2 in cinemas now.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
Hiya, Janine. It's Greg from the Halifax. I've got your new Visa debit card.
You do?
I do.
You have?
I have.
Well, just give me the address.
Over the big bridge thingy next to the haunted hotel.
We got
Here you go, guys. One each. They're contactless. It's the quickest way to buy things up to 30 quid. Easy peasy. Oh, while you're here, they could do with some help upstairs.
Yes, sir. Don't worry.
Great. Have you found him yet? Oh, there he is. I ain't afraid of no
What happened? Are you okay?
He slimed me.
That's great. Actual physical contact.
I prefer contactless. It's so much easier. Now go bust that ghost. Well done, boys. I'm afraid of worms.
They want you to join the clan?
They want to meet me first.
Yeah, well, you probably shouldn't go to that meeting.
How do you propose to make this investigation? We'll establish contact over the phone. We'll need a white officer to play me when they meet face to face. So there becomes a combined Ron Stallworth. Ready? Born ready.
Black Klansman.
I'm not ready.
Premier League continues with a Super Sunday doubleheader, live on Sky Sports Premier League. Take your seat.
Sky Cinema presents a channel dedicated to an Academy Award-winning icon.
How you doing? Can I ask you a question? What do you see when you look at me?
I hear you're some kind of pilot.
You represent progress.
You're a good cop. The city needs you.
Whenever I hear the term New York's finest, you're who I think of.
You've taught this city how to trust the soul of a man rather than the look of it.
Now, I don't give you everything I got to give you. I give you your life.
Feast your eyes on our first ever Denzel Washington collection.
All in a day's work.
Sky Cinema Denzel Washington, available live and on demand.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
Well, we got more action coming up for you on Sky Sports starting Thursday, August the 30th after the break for the Wembley weekend. Warrington, see what London trip takes out of them. They're in action against Hull FC at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, but they've got Huddersfield hot on their heels in the race for the finals and fourth semi-final spot. 7:30 p.m. Sky Sports Arena, Sky Sports main event. The following day we have St Helens, the league leaders, in action against Wigan. 7:30 p.m. Sky Sports Arena. Same channels then on Saturday for a double header from the qualifiers. Leeds, the current Super League champions, in action against Hull Kingston Rovers. Toronto at home against the London Broncos. 5:15 start for that from Toronto. And we are bringing you action from the Lamport Stadium in Toronto in round 2 of the qualifiers. The home side trailing by 8 at half-time. Tim Sheehan's Hull Kingston Rovers, 2 tries in the first half, 2 breakaway tries in response to Nick Rawsthorne opening the scoring for the Toronto Wolfpack. Well, plenty of entertainment here at the Lamport Stadium at half-time. The mascot, well, good luck being underneath that. Well, the crowd royally entertained. They will be hoping, though, that the action on the field turns their way. It's a couple of mistakes punished by Hull Kingston Rovers, the Super League opposition, rolling into the town for the first time. Let's take you through the second 40 minutes. The boys and Ben standing by. Ben, over to you.
Thanks very much, Brian. Yeah, Jefferson, the mascot there with the welcoming committee. Well, they were unbeaten here for almost 2 seasons, the Wolfpack, but at half-time in their first home clash with Super League opposition, Toronto are staring down the barrel of back-to-back defeats at the Lamport Stadium. The crowd desperate to lift them. They started so well in that first half. Claimed the opening try in the shape of Nick Rawsthorne squeezing in the corner, but 2 quick-fire efforts from Hull Kingston Rovers in the shape of Junior Vaivai and Craig Hall with a sweet try for him against his former employers. That was improved by a Hall goal with 3 minutes left in that first period, giving us a half-time interval scoreline of 14 points to 6 in favour of Hull Kingston Rovers, who dare not lose. Remember, they came up short last weekend at Salford, against Salford I should say, and no team, as we've been saying, has lost their opening 2 games in the qualifiers and made it through to Super League at the end of the series. Hull Kingston Rovers, the only club to have featured in all 4 qualifying series since the introduction in 2015. They survived the inaugural campaign. They suffered £1 million game agony in the shape of Gareth O'Brien, of course, against Salford 12 months later, and won promotion back to Super League after winning their opening 5 qualifiers of 2016. Terry and Phil alongside me. Terry, have you seen enough from Toronto to suggest that they can pull themselves back into this game?
I've seen enough of them through the season. In this game, obviously, Hull KR have scored 2 breakaway tries, and still look at the Toronto side. Patterson, ex-Hull KR, his first club when he came over 8 years ago, made a name for himself on the left-hand side with his offloading game. And they have got some skillful players, but like I said in the first half, the more this game's on, the more it goes on, the more the likes of Adam Quinlan, Danny Maguire, Chris Atkin will take control, and Thomas Lee, I think he's doing a brilliant job in the middle, controlling everything, working hard with his forwards, bringing him onto the ball. Defensively, they're really secure, because you look at the Wolfpack side, they are a big physical side who do like to try and play you through the middle before shifting the ball. But you can't count them out. Paul Rowley certainly does back his players, backs his side, and he gives them that free license to play.
Well, I thought before the game, Ben, that Hull would win this game by 10 points, and I still think after watching the first 40 minutes that they'll win the game by 10 points. But I'm prepared to be proved wrong, and that's what the Toronto Wolfpack are tasked with doing right now.
Quinlan with the restart for Hull Kingston Rovers there, and Toronto Wolfpack with this first possession of the second half. Buchanan with the first carry.
Andy Ackers there now, asking for the penalty from the referee, saying that the rucks are too slow. Bob Bezic, starting hooker, he's playing in the forwards, bringing the ball away as Jack Buchanan comes up with a strong carry.
Without Blake Wallace, of course, Toronto, so a reshuffle needed.
Nice
good ball up for Dixon.
Yeah, you know, they're taking it to land. They started the first half quickly. They started the second half in a similar fashion. The referee awards a penalty now to the Toronto Wolfpack. Gives them the first touch opportunity, you know, to get close to Rovers' line. Really sort of put on those angles and plays that they were successful and been well known for, really, for the last year or two.
Immediate chance then for Toronto in this second period. Buchanan with the first hit up there, and Ackers scanning the options. Comes back to the right-hand side and gives it to Dixon, and Dixon has the line. So close there. Really important tackle from Masoi. They're camped, though, under those Hull Kingston Rovers posts. They work it quickly to the left-hand side. Is it going to be 6 more tackles? Was that touched by a Hull Kingston Rovers man? Mason Caton-Brown not hanging around to find out. He gets so close.
Well, I'd like to see him give it a bit more ball. We've seen how dangerous is one of my favourites, Mason Caton-Brown. Referee stops the clock. There's an injury over here now on the right side of the field. He walks across to see how, is it Ben Kavanagh down injured? He's just getting some treatment from the Hull KR physio, but Caton-Brown's just 2 metres from the line. Toronto got timing now to set up some players, and Gary Wheeler, with the absence of Blake Wallace, given the task here, isn't he, of playing probably in the standoff role and finding that, being the link between the centre of the field and the width.
I think Ben Kavanagh, he picks up that knock from the fabulous run, the fabulous line from Andrew Dixon. He went close over on the right-hand side, got rid of a few Hull KR players, left the defenders on the floor. The ball goes out to the left, and then Caton-Brown comes up with another punishing run.
A long stop in play, isn't it? Long stop. Just imagine he's going to leave the field here for this length of time for the head injury assessment to take place.
Is it that? It looks like he might have even picked up a poke in the eye.
He's tapping the head.
Yeah, there's a sign to the sideline. He's coming off for the test.
Ben Kavanagh, Canadian soil. He faced the United States, of course, with Scotland in the World Cup alongside Tonga, Italy and New Zealand. He will leave the field, and James Child just making sure that happens, and we can go again with Toronto on the front foot. Wheeler involved, as you say. That was Ackers, though, with the pass. There is Wheeler. O'Brien gets the kick in. It's just too strong.
Well, he knew that he was running out of space, then Gareth O'Brien, and knew that it was the 4th play. So whilst he's running forward, whilst the defence is going backwards, he thinks they'll just kick the ball forward.
But have Rovers taken it over the dead-in goal line here? Will this be a goal line dropout? It's a wide passing play with a kick at the end of it. Wheeler, then to O'Brien. He sees the chance to put the ball in behind them. Now, Danny McGuire swings at it. I'm not sure from that angle whether he made contact with the ball. Yes, he has. Goal line dropout. Toronto attack again.
So just as they did in the first period, Toronto commanding things early on in this second half, and Mason Caton-Brown takes the ball in. Taken down by a combination there of Mulhern and Mossy Masoi. Was Ackers. Now Sidlow. Ackers wants to quick play the ball. It was Donaldson, the tackler. Short ball for Dixon. Really important contribution there from Chris Atkin. They're still going though, in the shape of Josh McCrone. And the skipper gets his side to within 5 metres of that Hull Kingston Rovers line. All momentum with Toronto, and Dixon gets over. First try, second half for the Wolfpack. They struck first in the first period as well. And now Andrew Dixon gets Toronto right back into this game. His second try in the qualifiers. He got the match winner at Halifax last Sunday. And now he puts his side back into contention on home soil.
Well, he's looked dangerous in this second half, Andrew Dixon. Come up with 3 half breaks, and now he's come up with a try as well. Simple crash over. And it's the effort, it's the work from the pivots around him. Josh McCrone drops the ball off to Bob Bezic. Andy Ackers shapes to go one side. He's already told Andrew Dixon he's coming back towards him. There's a man out the back. Vaivai looks at Gareth O'Brien, which enables Andrew Dixon to get a one-on-one with the fullback Adam Quinlan. Good try and just what they needed.
Just 4 minutes gone second half. They trail by 4 with a kick to come. Career best 7 tries in 15 Toronto appearances last year, Andrew Dixon. Grand finalist with St Helens 7 years ago. Gareth O'Brien looking to cut the deficit to 2. The flags go up.
Well, Dixon has thrown himself like a human javelin on several occasions in the opening parts of this first half. On that final run there, he manages to evade the tackle from Quinlan. They're assuming too much out there, that the ball's not going to him. A nice movement really from Andy Ackers as well. Looks to pass it one way, turns and passes to the other side. And that 4 points there certainly giving a boost to the home fans and the home team.
Should get the ball back as well as Quinlan restarts. Collected comfortably. Then Patterson brings it back for the Wolfpack.
Nice first carry from Patterson. Richard Whiting goes off now. Hasn't he been a good servant to rugby league over the years?
250 plus appearances in the black and white of Hull. He will relish this opposition as well, Richard Whiting. And the Ackers just filters the ball into the path of Bezic. Both hookers combining now. Trapped by Donaldson. Some nice movement to the right-hand side. A good dummy as well, and maybe something for Chase Stanley. Manages to flick the ball out as well. And Rawsthorne is there.
It's good speed from Toronto when they shift that ball. Look clinical. And another good ball here.
McCrone gives it some air. Sidlow. McCrone again. Now Wheeler. Wheeler's pass touched by a Hull Kingston Rovers hand, and they're going to get the ball back in a minute.
Well, they're not afraid to throw the ball at the line. Like we saw in the first half, it could be dangerous and you could lead yourself wide open with an intercept. But they still do that. It has always been in their DNA to play like that, at the line, with pace, runners out the back. You've got an option of hitting the lead runner, an option hitting the man out the back, or even take them on yourself. And with no Blake Wallace on the field, and looks like he's failed his head test, there's more pressure on Josh McCrone to guide this Toronto side around the field.
Yeah, he does need to guide, and then Gareth O'Brien, the number 31, needs to strike. You saw the speed with which he brought the ball in that attacking sweep over to the right side for the Toronto team. Then they went back to the left. Really want to stretch the Hull KR team, make them defend every centimetre of the pitch from one side to the other. And hope that they've got enough speed and strength like the Dixon showed to score. 6 more players here for Toronto, smiling with the referee, but they need to be smiling when they put the ball over this line in the next 60 seconds.
Looks a very friendly scrum, doesn't it?
Mason Caton-Brown. Andy Ackers, urgency from him. That was a short ball from McCrone. It's Chase Stanley, almost over the line. The ball comes free.
Well, there was hands in there from Chris Atkin. He was picked out by Chase Stanley and drove backwards. Meters after contact was good from the centre then on that occasion.
Yeah, they've shouted they're going to take the 2. It's a difficult kick, but one they're electing to go for here now. That instruction came from Sunday towards the back of the field, or maybe around the halfway line. And they all walk back here now. They take a rest, they give the kicker, the ball to Gareth O'Brien, the kicker, and hope that he can draw them level here now, early into this second period.
After this, Toronto host London next Saturday. Then they go to Salford. And then on home soil against Toulouse. As for Hull Kingston Rovers, they've got a massive game at Headingley next weekend, before home clashes with Halifax and with London. There's the angle that Gareth O'Brien has. This to tie the scores. No problem, 14 points apiece for 6 gone second half.
Who can hold the nerve here? Now, both coaches have got a lot of responsibility. Obviously, the interchange is going to be so important in this game, rotating those big men around the middle. The Toronto fans are going wild. They're starting to believe that they could be playing in Super League next year. Here's the penalty. Chase Stanley's looked strong every time he's had the ball. There's hands in there from half-back Chris Atkin, the number 24. They get the penalty.
Well, the Canadian fans might not know the rules, but they can still look at the scoreboard. They know their team, almost 50 minutes into this match, are doing quite well.
Salford shot up top from, I think it was Donaldson on Sidlaw.
Massoy in there as well. Salford already won today to make it 2 from 2. Toronto looking to join them at the top of the qualifiers table. Kept Halifax scoreless last weekend, and now level with Hull Kingston Rovers as Dixon, the latest try scorer, plays it for Ackers. He gets into that Hull Kingston Rovers half of the field.
He looks busy, doesn't he, Andy Ackers?
It's Bezic. The kick came from O'Brien. Real contest as well. An offside decision and penalty coming up for Toronto.
They let the ball bounce, and you've got to make sure if the ball goes up in the air, somebody's got to take it. One of your backfield players has got to take it. And then when it bounces, it's going everywhere, and stood in an offside position, Greenwood. They get the penalty right in front of the sticks. Will they go for 2 points here again? Yes, they will. So 2 minutes to go, they were behind on the scoreboard. This could put them 2 points in front.
Right decision for you, Phil, take the 2 again?
Probably yes, I agree now at this point. Seems the friendliest qualifiers game I've ever seen, that there's so many players talking to one another, smiling, and can't quite work out the atmosphere that's taking place there, but can work out the scoreboard, and when he kicks this over, Toronto and their fans will be delighted.
Gareth O'Brien kicked 3 from 3 at Halifax last week. Two more points surely will follow in a moment. It's fourth successful kick of the afternoon. 16-14 now, Toronto lead.
Well, there's always the potential for trouble if you let the rugby league ball bounce. And neither Wardle or Quinlan could get close enough to that. In some ways, they might see themselves lucky to get away with it. They've only conceded 2, because it could have been a much worse situation. But the ball's gone forward from one Rovers player into the arms of another one. And that's the reason why they've just conceded 2 more points. Important kick-off here now from Craig Hall. Let's see what they can do in these 6 tackles.
Take from Caton Brown. Sidlow crashes in. This is
good drive, big drive.
That it was.
Looks like he's hurt as well then.
signalling to the bench. He will relish this clash, like you say, Terry. 7 tries in 17 Hull Kicks and Rovers appearances back in 2013 for Corey Patterson. Meanwhile, this is Darcy Lussick now.
Good shot up top on Sidlow then from the side. And this is another good set of 6 here from Toronto.
O'Brien goes to the air as chance of Wolfpack go around the Lamport Stadium, and Craig Hall though trying to cause more pain for his former employers. It's another good run.
But no panic again, is there, from Craig Hall?
Rawsthorne managed to get there and effect the tackle, but they're in a good position now, Rovers, in the shape of Danny Maguire, I should say.
Need some speed here, Chris Atkin now telling his outside players what he's after.
Atkin for Greenwood. That's Mossy Masoi. Tommy Lee. That was Atkin. Quinlan. Flick back from Ben Crooks. Tackle came in from Whiting. Maguire. Atkins showed it. Give it to Junior Vaivai, and Vaivai steps back the other way. It's elusive feet from Junior Vaivai. Has he got the strength to get over? Held up, says James Child.
Well, good defence from Vaivai. He beats a couple of plays, then he spots Gareth O'Brien. He thinks, I'm not going to use my footwork, I'm going to go straight over the top of you. He takes on the Toronto fullback. Well, then there's players in support. Look at this. Bang, bang. Gets rid of those plays, then straight at Adam O'Brien. And he did well then, helped out by a number of his teammates.
Kick from Maguire. Taken brilliantly by Mason Caton-Brown. Has to start though on the 20-metre line.
Referee said he took it in goal, didn't he? So he's gone to the middle of the pitch on the 20-metre line to restart. And if anything, for the last 5 or almost 10 minutes, the pace and the flow of the game has been with the home team. Playing the ball quicker, they've had some good possession, they've had some penalties, and Andy Ackers has got his teammates rolling downfield quickly.
Inside the last half hour, 2 points the difference. Nothing really to choose between these two sides, and so much at stake as Ackers gets the ball wide. That was Buchanan. Nice ball for O'Brien. Big hit though coming in from Vaivai.
Another penalty, yeah.
Lifted the legs.
Well, they take the 2 points again here. The last 2 occasions they've had penalties down there, Hull KR's line. They've opted to take the 2 points.
Well, he pulled out of the tackle, didn't he, for the safety's sake. That's good, but the penalty goes and they offload it again.
Brilliant offload from Ashton Sims, and Darcy Lussick on the back of that. Joel Tompkins, Danny Maguire with the tackle. Ackers wants a quick play of the ball, it's not. Eventually gets the ball to Wheeler, and Wheeler trying to slip the net. Lussick now.
Well, Hull KR clinging on here, and maybe clinging on to the Super League survival.
Tackles in the bank. Wheeler though, tackled brilliantly by Quinlan. Shot out to the line and made that hit. Ackers again. Now Whiting. Whiting throws a dummy. Whiting trying to use his strength. Tompkins again with a tackle. Untidy play the ball. Some space though for Andy Ackers.
Oh, he thought he spotted some space then, didn't he? Andy Ackers, he goes on the last tackle. Thinks that there's a Hull KR player that's not quite ready. Switched off. And you know, you championship sides normally struggle when they play against Super League sides for the speed of the game, but because Toronto every week they have to raise the game because everyone always wants to beat them. They're used to playing at a high tempo, so this pace doesn't bother them.
First time they've hosted Super League opposition then, up by 2. Real nip and tuck match though as Buchanan puts the tackle in. Looking at, oh, it's Patterson, I beg your pardon, that time. A penalty coming up for Hull Kicks and Rovers.
Patterson over the top of James Donaldson. Struggling at the minute, holds his foot straight away. He goes in behind the play, the ball, he pushes Clarkson out, he wants to have a run. Oh, he gets bent over. Just gets his legs caught underneath Corey Patterson, look. Goes over the top, just trapped underneath. He's had some shocking injuries over his career, James Donaldson.
Absolutely one of the unluckiest players in the game. He's in his 11th season, but just 160 appearances for James Donaldson. Let's hope he can continue and there's no lasting damage there. Meanwhile, Rovers continue forward. Mulhern plays it.
Oh, far pass from Chris Clarkson, who's just come on to fulfill that hooking role or dummy half position. Atkins moved away from there, but on his third pass he's got it completely wrong here, and they've taken all the pressure off the Toronto team.
Ben Cavan and Ashton Sims having a word.
Played in the back row, Chris Clarkson. He's asked to do a job that's really unfamiliar to him, and when he gets the out, he just stands up, just can't quite get the timing right. And then sat on the bench, and obviously when you take Tommy Lee off, it weakens you in that position.
The tackle, that's what you need, isn't it? When your best attackers want to play like your best defenders, with Danny Maguire putting that effort in, it will lift the rest of his team.
Here is Whiting. First carry came from Mason Caton-Brown. O'Brien for Sims.
They're getting into a battle, Toronto, and they play best when they just play off the cuff and go forward, tip the ball on, whether it be short or long. They look better when they move the ball.
Buchanan plays it for Bezic. That was McCrone. Good ball via O'Brien to Stanley. Taken down by Vaivai. Last one coming up for the Wolfpack. So O'Brien, it's Bezic in fact who just drills the ball into touch on this near side. Good set though.
Well, Bob Bezic knowing that they've got Hull KR where they want them. A couple of good strong challenges from the likes of Ashton Sims and the rest of his forwards. See Scruton falling off the tackle. Bob Bezic going from dummy half. He is always a moving dummy half. I said before, so clever, very intelligent, knows what to do, kicks the ball out of field, knowing that he's going to buy some time here in the right area of the field as well.
Atkin fed the scrum and Toronto looking to hunt the mistake. Buchanan comes in with the tackle.
Bruising defence there from Sims on Scruton.
Huge hit there. It's been a feature of this game as Joel Tompkins gets away from one, can't get away from Whiting though. And now Crooks. Good carry. Ben Crooks already grabbed doubles twice against Toronto this season in League colours, here and in Blackpool. Maguire launches high. And that's brilliant from O'Brien.
Takes one as well then from Danny Tickle. Well, as soon as he catches that ball, Gareth O'Brien, he knows that there's a Hull KR player in the vicinity around him, and he tries to get to ground as quick as possible. But the first objective from him, what's going through his mind is, I've got to make sure to pounce this. Don't want to make a mistake, and as he's going to go down, he cops a high shot from Danny Tickle. He's a brave player. And he knows he's going to get whacked. He just can't get down quick enough.
After Toronto's performance in the Challenge Cup, people were worried about their discipline and would they concede too many penalties to give themselves a chance in this qualifiers tournament. That's certainly not been a problem in the second half, has it? All penalties, so many here now, conceded by the Hull KR team. Running backwards towards their own line, they stood waiting for their opponents to kick goals.
And that kick from Gareth O'Brien gives his side another great chance in really decent territory as we approach the hour mark. 2 points the difference. McCrone, short ball. Chase Stanley now.
Oh, looking to get that ball away as well.
Jake Emmett. Bezic finds Wheeler, and Wheeler almost away. Gives it to Bezic again. McCrone. Patterson assesses the options, put down by Tompkins. Chris Clarkson in there as well. Sims. That was McCrone, this is Lussick. And Lussick still going. Takes 3 of them to bring him to ground. Tickle among them. Greenwood as well.
Oh, an ambitious pass, wasn't it? Thrown so quickly at Josh McCrone, he couldn't take it. He was moving at almost full speed himself. And James Greenwood will be delighted there that he didn't concede again. So many of the Toronto Wolfpack moving quickly around the rope, but the pass wouldn't find the man on the last play. And it's the task now of Scruton and Coe to move upfield. You know, in its simplest form, rugby league's a game of gaining ground in possession. And in this second half, for 19 minutes, Toronto have been far better than the visitors.
Clarkson. The tickle. Good ball for Greenwood. He gets the ball brilliantly away for Quinlan. Stays alive on the inside, and Chris Atkin. And Atkin goes in for Hull Kingston Rovers. 30 seconds short to the hour mark, and Rovers are back in front. An electric attack from Tim Sheens' side, and Chris Atkin on the end of it.
Well, they've been struggling up to that point, haven't they? The points have come from Toronto in the second half, and it's a good line, but what about this for an offload? As he's going down to the ground, good play from Quinlan. Chris Atkin, who's been in top form this year, named in the England Knights programme. Good play again at the line. Atkin with a lovely ball to Greenwood, but what about that for an offload? And then it's all about timing. Where's the fullback? Quinlan, he pulls in Gareth O'Brien and then offloads the ball at the right time. And that man, Chris Atkin, goes in for what is a much-needed score for Hull KR.
Lead changes hands for the 3rd time this evening. Chris Atkin featured the last 25 League and Cup, having missed the opening defeat at Wakefield. Of course, no Todd Carney, missing with a calf problem for this one. Chris Atkin strikes in his absence, the former England Students International. 18-16 now, Hull Kingston Rovers. Absorbing contest in Toronto. Last tasted defeat away from home over 2 months ago, Tim Sheens' side. They lost 26-4 at Langtree Park. Back on the right side of the scoreline as Danny Tickle attempts to open up a 4-point lead. $20 points to 16. Rovers lead.
Well, the visitors haven't enjoyed the game that much since half-time, but they've got enough players with enough experience to show a degree of patience. When their opponents are on top, you just have to ride it, hang in there until the tide turns. And it does turn on the back of a fantastic offload from James Greenwood. He's always had the confidence, if he can, to promote the ball to a player alongside him. He delivers it in a fashion that allows them to strike from deep again. Feature of this game have been the 2 long-range tries that Hull KR have pulled off. It's the reason why they're just narrowly ahead.
Craig Hall. Dixon with the tackle alongside Ashton Sims. Junior Vaivai now.
There's a lot of expectation on both of these sides. Everyone's looking at the Super League side. Can they come away with the 2 points? The home fans hoping that Toronto can nail the 2 points, but good carry here. And runs like that from Ben Cameron will certainly help Hull KR.
Maguire holds on initially, thought he saw a gap, shut down by Whiting and Patterson. Clarkson again. Back on the inside from Quinlan. Back to one, says the referee, James Child. Here is Clarkson. Marauding full. And Clarkson goes over for Hull Kingston Rovers. Back-to-back tries for Tim Sheens' men have opened up real daylight for the first time in this one. And Chris Clarkson over for a vital try in Toronto.
Well, they ran repeatedly, didn't they, down the middle of the field, and then towards the end of the set, they looked again for that inside pass. An element of luck has gone their way. They've had an interception try, and then a knockdown here with a repeated set. And he was just too quick, wasn't he? Chris Clarkson onto it in the middle of the field. Fit, athletic player, pushes through Gareth O'Brien, who tries to strip the ball, but it's another vital 4 points in the corner for the visitors today.
They'll be disappointed with that effort, Gareth O'Brien. Saw him earlier on in the second half, stopped Junior Vai when he tried to crash over the top of him, and Chris Clarkson comes up with a much needed try. It was all going Toronto's way in the opening 19 minutes of this second half. They were the team that were playing on the front foot, and then Hull KR have come up with 2 tries in the last 4 minutes that might really wobble Toronto.
Well, they struck twice in 5 minutes in that first period, and 2 tries in 3 after half-time have put Hull Kingston Rovers in real control now. Chris Clarkson, 4th successive year in the qualifiers, having played for Widnes back in 2015 and with Rovers in the last 3.
Danny Tickle knows how important every single point could be in this match. He's taken a long time here to get his breath back, to set himself, bring his heart rate down as much as he possibly can, to give himself the best chance of converting here. Left foot kicker from almost the far right touchline. And like the angle, we saw what he did in the first half. And he knows the significance of this would take it from 8 to 10 points. And make it a far more difficult task then for Toronto Wolfpack.
It's a brilliant kick from Danny Tickle. The crowd did their best to put him off, but Hull Kingston Rovers now have a 10-point lead. It's 26-16.
Well, you saw the hand just touched the ball. Richard Whiting, that's the reason why the referee's waving his hand. There's 6 more players, and with 10 metres out, maybe Gareth O'Brien would have elected to probably approach that in a different way if he was given a second chance. Couldn't knock the ball free and couldn't pull the man to ground.
15 minutes or so to go as Craig Hall takes possession for Hull Kingston Rovers. They'll be enjoying this more than most. Former Wolfpack man.
Interesting to see what Toronto have got now, especially between their ears. The belief that they've got, well, no, they've got an awful lot of desire. They won't throw the game in, but they've got to come up with the correct plays and slow this Hull KR side down now.
Joel Tompkins in possession. Brother Sam already a winner with Wigan this afternoon on Sky Sports. That was Tickle who played the ball. A high kick testing O'Brien again. It's a good chase as well.
Just moved in the air as well, that kick. It was a dangerous one for Gareth O'Brien. You could just see him. He had to readjust underneath it. Now all of a sudden those couple of tries have really lifted Hull KR.
Chase led by Nick Scruton, and the Wolfpack really struggling to gain ground, gain momentum.
Well, this is where you need to continue to play as a team. Sometimes when you tire inside that last 15 minutes and you know you need points, you try and do it individually, but it's about supporting the man, trying to remember the things that you did in training here that make you dangerous as a team, not as an individual player.
Josh McCrone puts boot to ball. What's the Wolfpack chase like? Quinlan gets away from one and then cops a high shot, does he?
Yeah, starting to fall off tackles as well, and then Quinlan steps inside. McCrone with a high shot on him. Kicking for distance then, McCrone when they had the ball, trying to trap Hull KR down near their own line. Wasn't an attacking kick, but it was high in the air and making it a contest. wanted the distance, wanted to restrict the yardage of Hull KR, but that penalty, that's a gift to Tim Sheens' men.
He never tapped the ball, is what the Toronto side claim, and he's correct. The referee, well, Vaivai said he touched my knee. The referee said, no, you can't go from a penalty to a penalty, so it's a scrum now for the Toronto side. But I'm only talking before, and we might see again here whether he does touch the ball with his knee, which is allowed to restart the play. Vaivai just seemed to run on with the ball. It's a terrible mistake here now when you've got control, a 10-point lead, just over 10 to go.
It's a brain explosion, isn't it?
Well, it's a disrespect for the rules, isn't it? I mean, I think we've cut too many of them out, but you don't seem to have to play the ball with your foot anymore. But surely to restart it, we're still following the rules in that regard.
And a coach killer for Tim Sheens. Here is Whiting. 3 around the tackle though. Slowing the play of the ball down. Need momentum. Toronto Wolfpack. Emmett. Here is Bezic. Gets the ball away and it's filtered nicely to Dixon. Bezic for O'Brien. Now McCrone. All wrapped up though by Vaivai and Greenwood. Last chance. Bezic. O'Brien. Brilliantly claimed by Ben Crooks.
Well, he could have waited for that, Ben Crooks, and let one of the Toronto players come down with it, but he wanted to get that ball. He was confident in his own ability to catch that ball without making a mistake, even though there was a number of Toronto players around him.
A loser in the £1 million game with the Leeds Centurions last year, Ben Crooks. Want to avoid that fate again in 2018.
Looked like it was a little knock on them from Vaivai.
Back in for Maguire. Now Tompkins. Last one. And Maguire, his kick is ricochets, and Mason Caton-Brown in the right place to scoop up possession for the Wolfpack.
Well, tried to take control then, didn't he, Danny Maguire? 11 minutes to go on the clock, wanted to knock the ball off the field. The last thing that Hull KR want now is for Toronto to start upping the tempo in the game.
Well, they need men around the ball, don't they? That's 4 tackles, it's been 4 solo efforts. Gary Wheeler then throws it wide here. Sims, that's the 5th one there. He offloaded at the end of it, and Ackers now goes second phase. But Wheeler is it, just come up with a mistake.
Look at the reaction from Danny Maguire. As you say, Phil, they maybe needed to throw the ball around, but the pressure that the Hull Kingston Rovers defence was exerting.
I was expecting Toronto to play a bit more than what they have done. They got more into a battle with Hull KR's pack. And they've really turned into each other. The referee just pulling 2 halves together, just having a little quiet word, making them just focus on the game, get through the next just over 10 minutes without any major incidents.
Maguire fed the screw, it's worked back to the short side, and Crooks taken down by Whiting.
It's had to be a penalty, didn't it? He had 2 or 3 pulls. And Hull KR have an opportunity now inside the last 10 minutes. Should they find another try? I think the gap then becomes too wide for Toronto. They're still alive with 10 points on their board as a deficit. But should that grow to 16, well, I worry that their day here is over. Can Hull KR find the killer blow now in this second round of qualification?
Tickle with the first carry for Tim Sheens' side. Clarkson. Scruton. Maguire held on that time. Under the tackle of Emmett. Clarkson again, Tickle. And there's a gap there for Kavanagh, and Ben Kavanagh's pass.
You know, he's got good footwork, Ben Kavanagh. Got a quick play of the ball as well, but his footwork gets him out of trouble 9 times out of 10. The Scottish international, and your defence isn't moving up and you're rocking back on your heels. You don't want the likes of Ben Kavanagh coming at you.
Well, if Scruton had been able to take that pass, Tim Shee's blood pressure might have just been able to drop for the final 10 minutes. I think they would have relaxed then and thought this has been a successful trip, but they still know with players like Mason Caton-Brown, Gareth O'Brien, Chase Stanley, there's enough speed in the opposition side that they can score and strike from anywhere. He turns the ball back to Scruton, who's about to hurdle Dixon. He can't take in the ball. He won't make the steeplechase.
I'll be hoping that he's okay, Nick Scruton. Whether it was his pride hurt for dropping the ball in front of the sticks. The physio was on. He thumbs up to the sideline, and he still looks like he's struggling a bit.
Another one familiar with the £1 million game. The winner with Wakefield against Bradford 3 years ago, Nick Scruton. Chase Stanley.
Someone could find a way to get Mason Caton-Brown with a real running opportunity rather than the centre of the field and just defenders.
Ackers for Emmett. Time beginning to run out for Toronto. Trail by 10 inside the last 8 minutes. Worked out well though for Sidlow, and he's got Ackers with him. Flings the ball back. Could be something here. This is Darcy Lussick now. He manages to throw the ball. Has it gone forward? It's going to be a penalty for the Wolfpack.
Well, they get a penalty. They wanted to speed the game up. And there was a shoulder charge from one of the Hull KR players on a Toronto player. And it looks exciting when they start throwing the ball around like that. A couple of decent charges from the forwards. Andy Ackers goes through a gap again, turns around looking to offload the ball to a teammate.
McCrone. Give it to Sidlow. Ackers now has Dixon for company, and Dixon gets up. Dixon goes again, and Dixon, has he found the line?
He's going to give it.
He's scored again. Andrew Dixon, with 7 minutes or so to go, has scored a huge try, his second for the Toronto Wolfpack. 26-20 kick to come. It's not over yet.
Well, he hit the ball on such a flat line, didn't he? It was a delayed pass to him and then cut through the defence. We get to see here now that they get to themselves in the middle part of the field. Adam Sidlow puts them centre field, 20 metres from the line, and then the number 11 here, close to the screen. Just look at the timing of his run and the timing of the pass. Just about legal. It steps inside, bounces up, gets up quickly, and gets over the line. The referee steps inside the goalpost and says, that's 4 more points. They've certainly given their home supporters now something to really get excited about. The first time they've played a Super League side on their own at their own stadium, and with about 6 minutes to go, they're just 6 behind. Kick to come.
Craig Hall about to restart. Kick. The kick successful from Gareth O'Brien. 26-22 now. And Mason Caton-Brown takes the ball back for the Wolfpack.
Hasn't he been good in the second half, Andrew Dixon? Started off strongly in the first 5 minutes, scored a try, broke through on a number of occasions, the man of the moment. And yeah, look at him now, trying to throw the ball around. Chris Atkins shooting a line, shutting down on Josh McCrone, the captain.
Quick play the ball out.
Oh, risky offload. And Vaivai comes up with it. What the referee determined here now? Has there been a knock on either way? That's a tough call, isn't it, now for the referee? He puts his arm to Rovers, the visitors.
But Jake Emmett's looking for that man. And he says that Vaivai, when he offloaded the ball, he knocked it on. So a number of things to look at, James Child. A lot of players around. The ball up in the air. Seeing whose hand it comes off.
Anguish on the face, though, of Jake Emmett. It's come up for Hull Kingston Rovers. How crucial could that decision be? Atkin feeds the scrum. Tommy Lee. Maguire.
That was shoulder in from Emmett.
Yeah.
That was needless.
Frustration maybe from the initial decision.
I don't think he misses him here.
That's about the silliest penalty I've ever seen conceded. It's almost like you're wanting your opponents to win.
James Child and Josh McCrone in conversation. McCrone with the NRL pedigree that reflects the Wolfpack ambition, 150 plus down under with Canberra and St George Illawarra in the NRL.
Go for 2 points here. Danny Tickle. Calming influence there he is. Well, he's passed it on to Craig Hall. Thinks that he's got more distance on his kick. This could be a vital 2 points if it goes over. They'll give them a 6 point lead with just under 5 minutes to go in the game. And you'd bet your bottom dollar that they'd work it up the field and look for a 1 point, knowing that time's against Toronto.
Craig Hall already kicked a long distance goal at Hull, of course, a couple of weeks ago. Here he goes. On target, 2 huge points for Hull Kingston Rovers, 28 points to 22. It's their supporters, loudest now in Toronto.
Well, they wouldn't take a genius to work out where this kick's going to go. It's going to be a short, contested one. Toronto need the ball back. Joel Tompkins needs some teammates around him. He's desperate to get some bodies up. Chasers need to stay on side. It's gone high in the air.
It's just about
knock on from the... Oh, he's given a penalty.
I think Ben Crooks, when he goes up for this ball, he was taken out. There's a player underneath him. He did ever so well. He positioned himself in the correct spot.
Oh, that's a very unfortunate penalty. Richard Whiting's just stood underneath him.
Former teammates at Hull FC, Richard Whiting and Ben Crooks. He knew where that ball was coming, Ben Crooks. He positioned himself towards the touchline so he could run onto that ball, knowing that Toronto were going to be chasing hard to try and get control of it. And you'd think now with the likes of Danny Maguire on the field, they'd just work the ball upfield, get to centre as quick as they can, and then maybe go for the 1 point.
Yeah, up the jumper time now before they get to that last play.
Inside the last 3 minutes, Hull Kingston Rovers grinding out their first win of these qualifiers, a crucial 2 points if it stays like this. Masoi to Lee. Quinlan now, Quinlan with a quick feed against the tiring defence. It managed to evade a couple, couldn't get through the tackle of Whiting. Tommy Lee. Atkin. Lussick with the tackle. Danny Maguire. Great ball, Junior Vaivai. Vaivai almost over the line. Has he got it ball down? He's held up.
Good defence again from Gareth O'Brien. The last line of defence. Working hard with Chase Stanley to stop that man.
Is this the last tackle? Maybe they go for the power play here and just turn over the ball close to opponent's line.
Deep
pass to Maguire.
Maguire going for the 1 pointer. It's charged down and he spilled the ball. Quinlan
It's another set of 6 here for Hull KR.
Yeah, they're going to get 6 more. That's a crucial moment. And is that the last chance as far as Toronto Wolfpack are concerned?
Well, they had to go for that play as well, though, didn't they? They had to try and close Danny Maguire down. They knew what was coming on. There's a mistake here from Danny Tickle. Toronto get one more goal at Hull KR.
They immediately form the scrum.
Well, this is how you want a game to finish, isn't it? Just over 60 seconds to go. The home side needs 6 points to at least earn a draw in this match, which will be very significant. We know how tight the league table is after 7 rounds, 8-team competition. Vaivai held up. O'Brien and Co get underneath him. Referee perfectly placed to say no. Some grounded. But they're going to need some real magic now. The home support doing everything they can to lift the Toronto Wolfpack. Has anybody got a piece of magic? Stanley tries to run through them.
Important tackle coming in from Tompkins. Rawstorn now. Inside the last minute. 3 in the tackle ball, Kingston Rovers.
Still very physical, Hull KR.
They're only inching closer, really. Toronto Wolfpack. Another strong carry, though, but they need to be more expansive. Ackers will play it for Sidlow. That was Lusick back for Ackers. Now Sidlow again. Is there a gap in front of him? Adam Sidlow still going. Roared on by this crowd, but he's put the ball down. Look at the relief, look at the joy on the whole Kingston Rovers' faces. They know how tough this assignment has been.
Has been a tough game. And Hull KR look like they're going to come away with the points here. The mistake from Sidlow, the gap opened up, but enough defenders got back to stop Sidlow making any more progress towards their own line.
Well, it's never over till it's over. Yes, they need to control the ball from this scrum. Can't relax. I doubt they'll throw many passes, if any. Referee's trying to sort out this wrestling contest, which is supposed to look like a scrum.
Maguire. It is a carry, as expected. Lusick with the tackle on Atkin.
All outside backs now.
Joe Wardle.
Wardle, Craig Hall now. Like Phil said, no one's looking to pass this ball. Vaivai comes in.
Vaivai taken by Emmett. This is Maguire. And there is the hooter to come up for the Wolfpack. It's going to be the last action, though, surely. And Hull Kingston Rovers have clung on for 2 vital points in Toronto, the first Super League visitors to the Lamport Stadium. It wasn't pretty at times, but 2 huge points for Tim Sheens' men. They've won this one by 28 points to 22.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Hull Kingston Rovers get their qualifiers campaign up and running. 6-point victory in the end. 8-point lead at half-time. The Toronto Wolfpacks hit back in that second 40 minutes. We'll give you an update of the qualifiers table now. Toulouse victorious against Halifax earlier today. Salford on top, 2 from 2. Leeds Rhinos in action against London tomorrow. We are back with more Super 8 and qualifiers action starting Thursday, August 30th. Warrington at home against Hull FC, 7:30 p.m. start for that. And then St Helens can wrap up the League Leader Shield with victory over second place Wigan, 7:30, same channel next day. And we have a doubleheader from the qualifiers on Saturday, the 1st of September. Leeds in action against Hull Kingston Rovers, 3 p.m. start for that. And that is followed by Toronto at home against the London Broncos. Thank you very much for your company. We hope to see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Just looking to pass earned the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardaker. Hardaker to Minikin. Wide to Reedham. 31 for the season!
Is there anyone who doesn't want me dead?
Next time you get in my way, I will not be so gentle.
Girl problems again.
Shut up!
Hands up!
Oh, yeah!
Marvel Spider-Man, only on PlayStation. For the players.
Don't miss our best offer for superfast broadband at just £25 a month for 18 months, including line rental. And there's no activation fee for existing Sky TV customers. Plus, it's super fast, super reliable, and will never slow you down. So get super fast broadband for just £25 a month with no activation fee, exclusively for existing Sky TV customers. Search Sky Broadband. Disney Pixar's Incredibles 2 in cinemas now.
Well done, wizard. You are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
What would you have me do now, Your Majesty?
Turn that into Bud Light.
Okay.
Now turn that statue into Bud Light.
You know, Your Highness, I can do other things. I can put a curse on your enemies. I can make you immortal.
Yeah, no, just the Bud Light thing. Dilly
dilly. Keep it, Bud Light.
Your Odds from William Hill lets you create and bet on your own markets. Tweet us direct from the William Hill app or from Twitter, and we'll reply with the odds. Join over 500,000 Your Odds customers and view their markets. Spot something you like? One click, it's in your bet slip and you're on. More markets, more choice, more to celebrate. William Hill. This is more.
What did you say your job is?
I'm an undercover detective investigating the Ku Klux Klan. You dig? The KKK is planning an attack. I gotta get in deeper with these guys. You ready? Born ready. Can you dig it?
Right on, right on.
Black Klansman, a Spike Lee joint in cinemas August 24th.